Julian McCall's car.
Yeah, Lash McCall. Anyway, here we go, away they go. A massive blast out of the line. And it is Tony Sinclair in the middle. He shows his nose ahead of Simon Hadfield. Laurie Bennett is third. We've got 55 Chris Ward round the outside in his GT40. Hadfield, I think, has sneaked through inside the red Lola of Sinclair. He has, and he's got the lead back. So it's Hadfield, Sinclair, Bennett. Then it is with the 3 GT40s in there. I think that will be Billy Bellinger up challenging the GT40s. Laurie Bennett has a GT40 inside him going down through full water, and that's the Scuderia Bear car. Number
James Cottingham.
James Cottingham. 40s there as well, but Bennett's weathered the storm. He's kept the GT40s behind. Cottingham comes back down the inside, gets a bit sideways, and he's touched the grass, had to back right out of it. And I think that's Ollie Bryant in the blue GT40 that's in there as well.
Sam Hancock, I think it is, in the blue GT40, but that could have been very, very spicy indeed as Cottingham got sideways and nearly clipped the back of Laurie Bennett. And when Bennett's in third place, the whole field of these enormous racers is in behind. Thank goodness he kept it straight. Simon Hadfield did prevail through the first corner, but a slightly better start from Tony Sinclair. Now we have a spin, another 2.
That's Michelle Smits, is it?
Yeah, well, yes it is. The outside of the second row he started.
He's touched the barrier. Unfortunately, it's not badly damaged, but it's just touched the barrier. Spin for Schmitz.
So Hadfield and Sinclair come across the line. First and second already opening up. A small gap over Bennett, with Cottingham in fourth, having survived that moment and leading the GT40 pack.
Well, good to see Smits has got going again, but he's right down at the tail of the field. Diogo Ferrao appeared to be going very well up towards the front end in his Ford GT40. The first 2, though, are breaking clear. And not only is Simon Hadfield still in the lead, he's now starting to pull away. He doesn't need his lights on. With the car behind, Tony Sinclair wanted to let him know he's there. Laurie Bennett's low lights on his McLaren, and then he's got James Cottingham and Sam Hancock tucked in behind him. The silver GT40 and the blue one. Sinclair, did he leave his braking too late? We can see a puff of brake smoke down at Lavin. Well, he's lost a bit of ground. Simon Hadfield saying thank you very much, pulling ever further clear in the lead of the race.
He is indeed. It's the 2 Lolas from the McLaren, then a trio of Ford GT40s. Sam Hancock in the blue one in the middle of that group. Glatesall behind him, and up ahead of him is Cottingham. Cottingham comes past Laurie Bennett into Woodcote Corner, and he's got third place now. So
Hancock tried to follow him through, but had to back out right at the last minute, and that could allow a bit of an advantage for Cottingham in the fight off the GT40s.
Yeah, that little slip up from the chaser from Tony Sinclair has let Simon Hadfield get away, but Simon, I think, has the pace to do so in his own right. Number 55 trying to go forward. That's Chris Ward in his GT40s, Ollie Birch's car. And very, very twitchy from Laurie Bennett in the M1B McLaren.
He's trying to get back past the GT40, but he got a lap alongside. He's run out of road. He's had a big spin, and that was the car was unbalanced. You saw the air kind of lift it as the GT40 went past. Laurie Bennett's had a mighty spin off into the greenery. Well, very careful he hasn't filled the radiator duct with grass.
Yeah, coming sideways back towards the circuit, but the amount of oh dear, and a spinner behind. Is that Diogo Ferrao's gone round?
And he's clobbered Steve Farthing.
Oh, it's all happening as he's rejoined. I thought there was going to be an accident in the smoke, as the tyre smoke, as Laurie Bennett went round. And to not be able to see what you're doing at Ford Water, very scary indeed. Unfortunately there for Diogo Ferrao and Steve Farthing, caught up in the aftermath of that incident as we had Laurie Bennett rejoining the circuit. So up front, not really aware what's happened behind them because they got through all that tyre smoke. Is that trio of GT40s? We've still got the 2 T70 Spiders leading the way. Simon Hadfield, Tony Sinclair, then Cottingham in the best of the GT40s. Sam Hancock in behind. Talk us through what happened.
Here's Laurie Bennett trying to get past the GT40. The GT40 sweeps across him. Laurie lifts off, runs a little bit wide, and then the car just spins very grassily. No damage done at that point, just a huge spin. He gets it going very quickly.
But Marcus, without the lights on the front of that Laurie Bennett, very dark blue McLaren, I think it was very hard for Cottingham to see. It's pretty dark out there.
Yes, he had that moment across the track, wasn't it? And I think the McLaren that was in front of Ferrao didn't have much place to go other than have a lift. And the yellow flag safety car's coming out. The GT40 is a tough old thing, isn't it?
Innocent victim there, though, wasn't he? He was minding his own business. And
Hadfield, Sinclair, Cottingham, Hancock, Glaysall.
Sean Lind's rising up the order. It's sad to report that Steve Farthing and Diogo Ferrao pulled off on the outside of the circuit at St Mary's with their injuries from the contact there as Laurie Bennett rejoined. Laurie is in the back of the pack in about 5th place in that line of cars. That's not the top 5 runners though.
Came through 11th, Laurie Bennett.
Yeah, that's the second pack. He's tucked in behind Sean Lynn.
So safety car is out. Here it is from a different angle. That's from further away.
And that was thick smoke for those behind to get through, not knowing what was in it. But
it was. I think it was the McLaren of Jerdrum that was just ahead of the red GT40.
Well, we'll find out any second now.
See in a second.
Because look how Tony Laurie Bennett's crabbing as he comes to circuit, and it wasn't going to grip, but well, just out of shot, so we can't see it there. We can see Ferrao being taken for a spin. Clatter with Steve Farthing.
I think you're right, Mark. So I think when McLaren backed off, Ferrao had nowhere to go, jinked out and lost it, trying to avoid the slowing car rather than the one that was actually coming back on.
That's right. That's right. I think that's how I read it. And it was Jerdrum who lifted off in the Pacesetter Holmes ex-Aston Gregory McLaren. And the car's now just jinking around behind the Ace car.
Waved yellow flags around the circuit, and the leaders are still going at a fair pace because the safety cars didn't pick up the first 6 cars. Back to Chris Ward in 6th place. Billy Bellinger is at the front of the bunch behind the safety car in his Cooper Monaco. So the first 6 going around almost nose to tail. Simon Hadfield leading the round. They've seen the flags and the board saying SC safety car. They'll be aware of it. But,
the safety car doesn't have to pick up the leader.
Entirely
in fact,
so.
what they should then do is wave everyone around, past them gradually until they have race leader Simon Hadfield in car number 17 back behind them.
All along the clock keeps ticking. 12 minutes 40 of this 20-minute race remaining, the final race on the programme of the 75th members meeting, the Surtees Trophy. And certainly the light is starting to fade. Not as dark as it was last night, the higher cloud base. And now the safety car, he's done what you suggested, Marcus. He's released the second group of cars.
Yes.
They've got to set off after the first sextet. And for Simon Hadfield, he was sitting on a comfortable enough lead ahead of Tony Sinclair. Still plenty of racing to be done. The GT40's really trying to get up in the mix. And sadly, Laurie Bennett, having just lost 3rd place to James Cottingham, made that move down towards Ford Water, and then he took to the grass, got unbalanced, and round came the McLaren M1B, and that is what instigated the sequence of events that led to the safety car period. Most of the runners are using their headlights. Some in the pack either don't have headlights, in the case of Laurie Bennett, or just have not chosen to turn them on. Marcus Musser as well, lacking headlights on his M1B.
That's Jerdrum these days. Marcus Musser still recovering from the leg injuries he sustained last year in a Formula 3 car crash. That's the 6. Simon Hadfield running out of the slipstream at the Porsche just to get a little bit of air through the radiator of the lead car. Billy Bellinger's leading the rest round, frantically trying to reunite the pack.
Well, he's just coming into the chicane, and the sextet behind the safety car going through Ford Water, so they're moving slowly, he's moving quickly, but the rest of the field really need to press on.
It's about half a lap, isn't it, there behind?
Indeed.
Here they go again. And, very even with the 2 Lolas on the right-hand side of the grid, but it was Sinclair who got his nose ahead from the middle. And as he cut across to lead into Magic, Simon Hadfield squeezed up the inside. Laurie Bennett was 3rd. Chris Ward, a rocket of a start. Hadfield got better traction on the inside and got himself ahead going down towards Ford Water. See it again from a different angle now. Laurie Bennett got a lot of wheel spin off the line. Jerdrum made a good start going past the number 1 GT40. Stampede. Very drama in the middle of the pack there, I think.
Yeah, generally clean though, but Simon Hadfield wasn't taking no for an answer, was he? He was determined, even though Sinclair got his nose ahead, that he was on the outside, and he just had to adopt that inside line, and that's what he managed to do.
Well, Sinclair left him at T70s he put his T17 in.
Almost.
9.5 minutes to go. The light's still flashing on the safety car. There, and the field is all back together pretty much.
I don't see any reason from where I'm sitting that we should have a restart very soon indeed.
Where are the damaged cars parked?
They're parked by the sort of dummy. Yeah, lights off on the safety car, so we will be restarting very soon. Just to let you know, Marcus, Steve Farthing and Diogo Ferrao are by the sort of dummy commentary tower on the infield opposite me at St Mary's. But Simon Hadfield's detected, he knows those lights are off, he's held them back, and now he's going for it. The field behind have to react quickly to not let him get away. Tony Sinclair is the driver, and the safety car pulls out of the way.
Goes straight through and waves Simon Hadfield on into the chicane. So through they come. The order will be the same. They're overtaking until they get to the start-finish line. They go through them for the 6th time, still under safety car orders, but now it's green. Green flag waved at the start-finish point.
Light fading fast, lights ablaze on Tony Sinclair's T70 Spider as he sets off to try and do something about Simon Hadfield. Hadfield sitting on an advantage of about a second to go past the point where he had the incident that brought out the safety car, but no problems at all for Hadfield. But those behind really getting quite close to Tony Sinclair in the form of James Cottingham, the best of the GT40s, and Sam Hancock in number 40, looking very racy indeed as they go down into the pressure.
Cottingham touched the grass.
Yes. Cutting the grass on a Sunday, a traditional British pastime, but Sam Hancock through made it look very easy indeed, but clearly Hancock can get just enough to stay ahead as Cottingham attacks back, and I think Chris Ward made a bit of a mistake because he's fallen back, but I know Chris Ward's gone through into 5th, Glazel's made a mistake too and is dropping back in 6th.
In the GT40s, lights ablaze, watch the, look for the glowing of the brakes. Certainly it's the race, which it is. There's Ward taking a lot of speed into Woodcote Corner ahead of Glazel, as you say.
Didn't see what Glazel's problem was, I saw the aftermath, but really lost some momentum. Then Billy Bellinger in the Cooper coming up behind, but the first 6 you feel they'll pull away all over again. The big question is, can Tony Sinclair do anything about Simon Hadfield leading the race? 7 minutes left on the clock, the gap on the start-finish line, 1.1 seconds, pretty much as it was before the safety car came out.
Laurie Bennett back up into 10th place. The McLaren, now his next target is Oliver Bryant in the GT40.
Well, Bryant just picked him off really, so yeah, that was a change of position. Bryant coming past first to second, looks as though the lead is going out, and Sam Hancock, having got past just almost a lap ago, got past James Cottingham. When Cottingham put two wheels on the grass, he now seems to be comfortable in 3rd place.
As we say, Bruce, I think Sam Hancock's got his eye on trying to put some pressure on Tony Sinclair, hasn't he? The pace of the front GT40 drivers is always going to push them towards some of the quicker cars.
Jerdrum had a moment there in the McLaren M1B, on a big lift to save going out onto the grass. He got overtaken by Anthony Scrowan with the number 7. That's the Lotus 30 behind Sean Lynn.
Yes, I could hear the lift from my commentary position, but it's sweeping just out of sight behind the trees, but glad to hear no one went out onto the grass. So Jerdrum holding it together in McLaren number 88.
New fastest lap to Hadfield, 1:19.966.
Yeah, he's gone out from 1.1 seconds to 2.7 seconds cleared. So Tony Sinclair may be looking back to Sam Hancock, who's almost precisely 1 second behind. You can see Hancock in shot there, the veteran of the two GT40, number 40. But Cottingham's coming back in the Scuderia Bear, the number 23 example. Looks like Simon Hadfield has got this under control. 5.5 minutes remaining, but Tony Sinclair is going to have to look very carefully in his mirrors.
Yes, he is indeed. He's got these two GT40s bearing down them, and Sam Hancock and James Cottingham, two young drivers. Tony into his 60s. A monumental accident at Monza about towards 10 years ago now, in one of his Jades, when somebody took him off, consumed and went flying off at very high speed. Bounced back, got back to fitness, and in fairness, his racing as hard as he ever did when he won of before Formula 4 Championships way back.
Bit of frontal damage on the number 2.
That's the Schmitz car that's
car.
been taped up, isn't it?
Of course, it had the little nerf the barrier, but at about 0 miles an hour. So, mid-grid, the Chinook enjoying battle just ahead of the slightly tattered number 2, though the T70 Spider Smiths.
Sinclair's done a very good PB.
Yes, down to 1:20.0. So within a tenth of Simon Hadfield's fastest lap, and that's doubled the gap that he has over Simon Hancock in 3rd place.
Cottage 23 is 4th, 55 is Ward in 5th place, or in 5 is 6th, then it's Bellinger, Fox, Roussignol, Bennett up to 9th, ahead of Bryant.
Yeah, light is fading very, very fast, and last night we had the race curtailed because the light did precisely that. But what I can tell you, it seems Tony Sinclair is starting to reel in Simon Hadfield. Maybe he's got better nighttime sight.
Maybe
there
he's
is
tried more
Hadfield.
carrot juice.
Exactly so, right to the outside of the circuit. Hadfield does seem to have this under control. It was 2.7 seconds, let's call it, on the start-finish line last time around.
Best first sector of anyone, Bruce.
Yeah, well, my eyes weren't deceiving me in the gloaming, but it does look the latter part of the lap as though Simon's squeezed it out again. He's got a car not far ahead of him. 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Let's just keep an eye out. Well, it looks like it's quite good light there, but that's great camera work bringing it up. So Simon Hadfield across the start-finish line. And checker flag. Oh, well, the light has been considered getting too dark. It's fine. The cars with headlights one thing, but for people like Simon not using any headlights, it would have been getting harder and harder. Chris Ward in the background also coming without light. So Sam Hancock took 3rd place. Tony Sinclair eventually 3.2 seconds down.